It was recently reported that a company, which has managed Jindo VTS, restored the information on the data lost section on the request by the bereaved families. They said that 10 positions were restored for 29 seconds of data lost section. The restored information will be verified in this episode. Don't cry the pieces of coordinate information. Meanwhile, the MOF reported on April 21 that no information was found for 36 seconds of section. In addition, the Coast Guard reported explanatory data on April 21. At that time, I found a piece of coordinate information in their explanatory data. Therefore, I could add a position in this section as shown. YTN reported that the information for backside 8 seconds was restored in the 36 seconds of data loss section. YTN also said that the ship turned 10 degrees for a second, and this news was highly sensational at that time. What I'd like to say is that information existed in the so-called data loss section. After obtaining this VDR information from Sewol family, a piece of information was found. Important points of YTN news were that Sewol Ferry rapidly turned to 150 degrees during straight sailing in 140 degrees, and that new data appeared which was different from the explanatory data of the Coast Guard. As the result, the data which was reported by the Coast Guard resulting in a great sensation disappeared from the point of attention. When looking at the data carefully, RNG, that is the distance between ships, is found. The distance was 4.72 nautical miles in this case and was stepwise changed. At that time, Sewol family was sailing in opposite direction at 14.5 knots. During the time that the position information was not received from Sewol Ferry for 8 seconds, Sewol family kept her sailing. Therefore, the position finally received from Sewol Ferry was maintained for 8 seconds, and the distance between the two ships was to be increased to meet 14.5 knots of speed of Sewol family. RNG is calculated using own AIS information and received AIS information on another ship, but the interval to receive the AIS information is irregular. If the other ship does not give information, the AIS calculates RNG based on own AIS information and finally received AIS information, as if the other ship stopped. When I checked the data, the distance was changed to 4.72, 4.73, and 4.74 nautical miles at 5, 6, and 8 seconds, respectively, after 0849. Such distance could not be achieved at then current speed of Sewol family, about 14.5 knots. As to say, the government said that Sewol Ferry stopped, but she was moving at that time. This picture was shown by YTN. As shown, the distance is increased from 4.72 to 4.73 nautical miles for a second, equivalent to about 36 knots of speed, and then to 4.74 nautical miles for 2 seconds, equivalent to about 18 knots of speed. Anyway, these speeds significantly exceed 14.5 knots, that was the speed of Sewol family at that time. Loot at 36 knot position. 36 knots of speed means that the AIS information on 2 ships was renewed. 18 knot means that AIS information on Sewol family was not renewed, but the AIS information on Sewol family was received. What's important is that it's impossible for the MOF not to know the explanatory data of the Coast Guard, and that the MOF obtained and analyzed the VDR information of Sewol family. However, 3 pieces of these track data were continuously omitted. Analysis of newly appeared restored radar data. Director Kim found 1 position from Jindo VTS data and 2 positions from Sewol family's data. Let's first review the 10 positions. He reviewed the data on the data loss section, and he found additional 2 positions in the data lost section using the reported data. As shown, he found 12 positions using the same data analyzed by the company which has managed Jindo VTS. The additional 2 points are, this one and this one. As shown, these 2 positions are omitted in case of the company's restored data. The core point of the news was that Sewol Ferry turned 11 degrees for 4 seconds. Such speed was found between these 2 positions, 9 seconds and 13 seconds after 0849, for 4 seconds. However, they omitted 1 position during the 4-second section. He calculated the speed. 2 yellow rhymed positions mean omitted positions. As shown, 44.8 knots of miracle speed appears. She was said to sail at 17.4 knots but identified positions show 21.8 knots of speed. As I said in previous episode, concurrent movement of positions results in this kind of incredible speeds. In case of the data showing irrational speeds, the common pattern was omission of positions and adjustment of time. This is so-called restored data. It may be asserted that, although a speed between specific 2 points might be irrational, the speed in a larger section would be rational. Therefore, he took about 1 minute of large sections but obtained speeds were irrational, too. As shown, the restored data still shows irrational speeds. AIS data was said to be inaccurate but radar data was also found to be irrational. In conclusion, both AIS data and radar data reported by the government are irrational and I cannot trust government's reports. The prosecutor will demand penalties for the crew on October 27. The prosecutor changed the written arrangement. The causes of the accident will not be changed and will be poor stability of Sewol Ferry and rapid veering with a mistake. Suspected intention of zigzag sail and acceleration will not be reviewed, probably.